Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to do a demo of Clipchamp. And Clipchamp is a fantastic software that I use mainly to make shorts with, so short videos. It allows you to add captions super easily and for free. I've used other caption making tools in the past, one of which was quite expensive. And Clipchamp is amazing because you can do it all for free. At least what I'm going to show you in this video. So if you have videos, let me give you an example. So one example would be, for example, I made this short. This was about a turtle app, and notice that there's captions to it. So there's the short, and there are actual captions in it. And what I'm going to show you how to do is you can do something similarly for free, and it's amazing because even a few years ago, adding this manually can be incredibly time consuming. And if you add a subtitle file, it can save a little time, but Clipchamp is really amazing. Okay, so this is what the front page might look like. And then the about, it says it was founded in Australia in 2014 and it's owned by Microsoft. And then to log in, you'll just click on sign in, or you can make an account. And you can sign in with email, or they can send a link. And then when you log in, it should look something like this. And what I'm going to show you how to do is create a new video. So what you'll do is you'll create a new video, and then you should see something like this. You're going to import the file, and I'll give you the example I'm going to show you. So I made a video in Santiago, Chile, in a park called Bicentennial Park. And it's, in my opinion, one of the best parks in Santiago. And I made a video inside the park showing some beautiful swans. And these are koi fish. And I think this is for my travel channel. I personally think this is a really interesting travel video. And it's fine to show the travel video as is. But nowadays often people prefer to have actual captions written on the video. Sometimes people, with shorts, they often prefer to just watch it without audio. So adding the captions can make it better, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video. Okay, so again, you're going to import media. And I had some problem with Google Chrome, so I'm going to show you how to do it with Chromium, which is the open source version of Chrome. And I already imported the video. And what you would do once it's imported is, I'm actually going to remove this here. What you would do is okay, so once you have imported it, you see here it says drag and drop. What you're going to do is literally just drag and drop like that, your one video. And it's going to show up like that. And just a quick info about this, so you can go to different time stamps by clicking on the timeline. So this video is about 3 minutes long. It's 2 minutes and 58 seconds. You can jump to different spots in the video. For example, 1 minute 30 seconds. I just typed at the keyboard and you could enter. You can move this around. You can zoom in. I'm holding down the control button and using the mouse scroll wheel. So I'm zooming in, and notice how the timeline is changing. It's either zooming in or zooming out. And I can play this here. See if
And I like how many
notice that my voice, you can hear me talking. Okay, and you can also click on different parts of the video. And what I'm going to show you specifically is making video captions. So that's basically the subtitles that are printed on the video itself. So to do that, first what you would do is Yeah, we're going to click on Captions. The upper right, there's this Captions button that has the CC, and it says Captions. And then it says Generate Auto Captions with AI. Make your videos accessible to all. So try now. And you have the option of language. By default, it should be, I think by default, it's US, United States. And the way I speak, honestly, it could be Hong Kong, it could be Ireland, it could be Australia, UK, or US. Okay, but this is just for the spelling. So the spelling will be US English by default. If you prefer UK, you can do that, and so on. I'll just use English as is English US. It's the default, and I usually use English US spelling in my videos. But again, if you prefer Australia spelling or UK or Canada or whatever, you can change. And then you have the option to filter profanity. I never do this, and I almost never swear. But if you did want to filter it out, you can. So now just click on Transcribe Media. And it will take a few moments. Notice here it says 3 seconds left, but it might take longer. I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so that's fantastic. It came, I think it did quite well. And notice it generated a transcript. And I wanted to first show you here. If you play the video.
Okay, here's more of the pond.
Okay, notice that this, it just generated captions. Like here, by default, it usually will do it in white color. I mean, I've only ever seen it in white color, the default captions. And the default captions will, I can't tell exactly, but this looks like 10 or 20% from the bottom. And then the font size is 22. That's the default option. And I'm going to show you how to change that in just a moment. And then, so if you play the video, again, if you play the video, you'll see
so there's fewer people.
I'm talking here. So you can click on one of the captions, and then this menu will show up. So again, on the right hand side, you've got all these different options here. You've got these four basically sub menus. You've got captions, text, fade, effects, and then the captions is the actual transcript that will be printed on. And then the text, this means the font you can use, and then the if you want it bold or not bold. This gives again the different options. You can choose bold, you can choose italic, you can choose the font size, you can choose the font color. We've got different colors, red, orange, yellow, different shades of green, blue, purple, and so on, black, white. And then we've got the option of the line height, the line spacing, and so on. You can play around with this if you want. I'm going to show you what I do normally in my videos. Okay, so first thing is, generally, I don't like to have white color just because often I have videos with a white background, like if I'm doing a tech tutorial video. So the first thing I'll do is I'll change the color, and I can change the color at any time. But first I'll have a usually I use this orange or this yellow, and sometimes I use this blue for a call to action. So I'll show you what it looks like here, all these different colors. And so we've got the blue, purple, black. So honestly, there's not really a definitive answer. I think you just need to pick the color that you like the best and that looks the best. This is kind of a bright video, so black might not be good. White maybe will be okay. I'd have to try it out. But I usually will go with yellow or orange, just because typically, based on my experience, that's what looks best. This green maybe would be okay, but there's a lot of green also in the video, so I want one that looks a bit distinct. I I generally would pick one of these four, but you can change as you want. For the font size, so for this video, I'm probably going to pick this yellow, so I think it's easier to see. The different fonts, I think by default, it'll be Open Sans, but you can change if you don't like. And then, oh wow, this is a little surprising to me. Usually, okay, so by default it's 22, but that was just a little bit bizarre in the menu. Usually I'll go with 32 or 40 for the font size. 40 to me is a little bit too big. 28, 28 or 32 is typically what I would go with based on the size. So you'll have to play around with what you think works well. And again, going back to here, I'll typically have a bold, so I'll choose bold. I think bold looks better. Or maybe you can go with semi-bold. So I'll go with semi-bold. And then this is an important thing. So I'll typically, going back here, I just typed Control Z or Control Z, and I move this up. So for most shorts, honestly, it's typically good to put the captions about here, because honestly, like in TikTok or Instagram or even YouTube, there's a lot of junk on the bottom that like will kind of block the captions, and sometimes there's stuff on the top. So this is honestly a good area to put the captions, in my experience. Okay, so you can move the captions there, and you'll need to play around. Sometimes you need to like manually change the sizes just to make sure that it works.
over here.
Okay, so notice that it also edits all the other captions, so the position will be the same for all the other ones. It might be possible, for example, one to have like the text up here, and another video the text down here, but typically I think that's hard to do, and I think typically the position of the text is going to be the same in all. I'm not an expert in Clipchamp, but generally once you edit one, it'll try to have the captions in the same position. Okay, so you see here, I think that is quite good. And this is another important thing here. We're going to, what are we going to do here? What I want to do is, now I want to show you editing the text. So oftentimes the transcript is amazing, but there are probably going to be mistakes. I mean, there's a lot of words here. There's probably more than 100 words I spoke, and the AI technology still is not perfect, so occasionally there may be some mistakes. And then sometimes there'll be actually accuracies, like sometimes I say the word okay, but that's sort of a filler word. And I might not want that printed. Like for example, I might say and and other filler words that I might not want printed on the video, and I can edit that. So often what I recommend is you watch the whole video. For example,
Okay,
here,
here's more of the pond.
I recommend you watch the whole video and you edit the transcript manually, but it won't be too much work. So for example here, if I want to, I say here, okay, here's, so okay is, in this case, okay is a filler word, and I want to show you how you can edit the text. So you can click on a word, and you can manually move the mouse over. So I'm going to delete this text here because okay is just a filler word. And I just changed the text to,
Here's more of the pond.
so I said, here's more of the pond, in part.
Here's more of the pond. In part in.
And then notice I did, this is actually accurate. I said in, but printed as text, I probably just want to say one in. And you'll need to, sometimes if there's like an extra space, you'll want to delete that because it actually will show up in the video. And this is something you'll just need to play around with and try to learn by doing. But in this video anyway, I'm going to show you how you can at least get the basics. And then you can, one thing that's really cool is you can click on text and it can jump right to the that part of the video. And then here, this is an example where there is a small mistake in the transcript. So I said Parque B Centenario. Okay, so it transcribed it like English, like the letter B, but the Spanish word is B Centenario, like B-I and then Centenario. It got it correct up here, but it was incorrect at the bottom. So I'll edit that, and then I said here, for example, a Japanese garden or a Chinese garden, Chinese restaurants. And I think I mentioned, yeah, I talk about the different swans in the video. And then I talk about, so like this says here it's 200 pesos. So their currency in Chile is pesos. So it was 200 pesos. And yeah. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to edit the text that I think needs, well, I'll show you one edit here. So for example, just to make, not to make it too long so you don't have to watch me editing everything. But for example, if I want to say this, change this centenario, sometimes actually, for some reason, if you move the mouse all the way to the left, it won't actually be able to edit it. So the way I like to edit it is like this. I'll edit the second from the left, and then I'm going to delete that text. So it says Parque
Bicentenario.
Bicentenario, so that means Bicentennial Park. And then it says in Santiago,
Chile.
Chile. Okay, I'm going to edit the text and I'll come back when I'm done. Okay, so I ended up deciding to change the color to white because although I think yellow stands out and the orange stands out, the natural beauty of it, I think white just looks better because it's got natural beauty in the park. So that's partly why I picked it. And I edited the text. I changed a few things. I removed some filler words, and sometimes I duplicate words when I speak, and I just thought that that's not necessary. And I tried between size 32 and size 28, and it was hard to decide, but I ended up deciding 28 just because I think
It can be in.
it's a balance, but overall I think it's good. So white in this case, in this special case, I think white is good. But if I had just a white background, like if I'm doing a tech tutorial video, I think white would be bad because the screen is probably white color. And then I forgot to mention also for the text itself, you can also add shadows. If you want to play around, like this is a shadow. If you want to have an outline or no outline. Okay, this has an outline, and I think by default there's an outline. I think outline is good for the text. The shadow you can decide or keep or not, but I think the outline is good to have. Again, I chose these just because that's what I thought looked best. You got to go with what you think, but I think generally white or orange or yellow or even green could be good. It just depends. Okay, now what I want to show you is actually some a call to action text. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's say that you want to actually have a kind of an advertisement or a call to action in your video. So for example, I'm selling a coloring book This is the coloring book, and if I want to promote it, oftentimes people won't read the description. So if you want to promote something, it's often good to have a call to action, a CTA text. So again, I'm going to try using this text, but it might be too long and I might need to edit it. So typically, in my experience, a call to action for maybe the last 5 seconds or so is fine. And to add some text, okay, so to add some text, you have these different options. We've got title, 2-line, multi-line title, and you should try out different ones, see what you want to, as you can go add to timeline here. You can click on add to timeline, and you'll see here that this is the text here, and it's and you can move the text around. For example, here, let's find a place where, okay, so there's text here, and I'm just moving the title, so you see the title is also there. But I'm going to have a different type, and this is very cool because you can have it sort of different layers. Again, I move that there so you can see it, and then you can choose to move this around, and I'll edit this in a moment. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this text because I don't actually want to use that. What I want to use is probably bouncy title or mirror or something else, or this one, multi-line title. I think this is what I've used before. Multi-line title is something that I think is pretty good. And then you can edit the text so it's multi-line, which is nice. Okay, here, sorry, so for the text itself, you can change the different color of the text, you see like that, and you can change the background color like that, and you can play around with what you think is good. I'm going to try to put the text I want in here for the last few seconds or so. So I said get my coloring book, and I think this font is too big, so I'll try to make it much smaller. And this is something that you'll just have to play around with. So, okay, so I just deleted that one, and I wanted to try a different one here. So multi-line title, this one might be better. Wait, did I already do that? I'm sorry if I already did that. Try out different ones anyway. See here. Try out different ideas, and then you can do different alignments. You can align it, the text. You can change the font size. You can change the background color, the text color. Let's just say, for example, if you want the text color to be like a blue, a dark blue, and if you want the background color to be white or black. Okay, it just depends. And right now, I'm going to try to figure out what I've done before, because I've made a call to action that I thought looked good in previous video, and I want to try to see if I can figure out how I did it. Okay, and I just learned something new, which I think is very cool. So I'm going to show you what I did here. So for the what I did is I actually clicked on Caption, Add Subtitle, like this, and by default it'll put it somewhere near the end. And this one actually allows you to have multi-lines. So for example here, I just added another line. What I thought was really cool is that I just noticed that you can change the opacity. So right now the opacity is 0, which basically means there's no background opacity for the background color. But if I wanted it to be like up to 100%, okay, so you see this is black color, or this is blue color, or yellow color, and you can change the opacity, which I think again is very cool. So that's just the background. If you want to change the primary color, you can do like this, red or green or whatever. And there might even be opacity for the text too. Primary color, oh, maybe you can't. And one thing that's very cool is that you can actually put a custom hex color in there. For example, FE000012. I just put in a random hex. Or let's say, for example, AABBCE. Okay, that should be hex. But anyway, if you want to play around with, and then also you can do the add the color. You can this option here, you can choose a different color, and I think this is really cool. And I think it allows you. Does it allow you to change the opacity? I'm not sure, but I think this is very cool. Okay, and let's have the primary color be that for now. Okay, and I'm gonna try to notice that I have this is the call to action text. I'm gonna try to put my call to action text in here and something that I would actually use. Okay, I wanted to show you what I finally came up with. So I had to play around with the text to get it looking just right. And I actually had to change the message because my original message was too long. And notice I actually manually broke it into different lines. I just put a new line there. And what I chose actually is a bit subtle. I chose the primary color of blue because I think that's a nice blue color. And the background color I chose as white, but I actually chose it as 90% instead of 100%, which maybe slightly blends in more with the video. But I could have used 100%. I think that's fine anyway. A lot of this is art. I'm not an artist, but you'll just need to decide what you think is best. And right now I'm zooming in, holding down control using the mouse wheel. And one really cool thing is that you can also play around with editing it. Here, you can edit the duration. For example, if you wanted it to be 7 seconds, you could change it to be 7 seconds. And you can move this around, manually dragging it around. I recommend that you stop right at here. Like you see here, this has the purple, you see that? That's basically the end of the video. If you go beyond the video, I don't know what will happen, but it probably will get cut off. And notice here, I'll just show you the last parts here.
This was a pond.
Okay, notice this is text. This is before the call to action.
The pond.
And then I have this text here. And I put it in this position because I wanted it to be below it and not too close. And then also noting that if I put it around here, a lot of times in Instagram or TikTok or others, there'll be stuff filled here. And even on the side here, this might, some of this might get cut off. But this is, one of my, I'm practicing. I'm not perfect with this, but eventually, hopefully I'll perfect this and it'll get better. So if you want to advertise something in a video, especially short, oftentimes you have to you'll have to actually mention it in the video. And this one I didn't mention it, but at least I can add a CTA, call to action. And again, because at least in my experience, like I have some videos with more than 1 million views for my travel channel anyway. In Instagram and YouTube, some do well, but my Instagram one did the best. In some videos I had more than 100,000 views and one is almost 1 million or more, but I didn't have a CTA and I just had, I mentioned selling this book and it didn't do well. So for sales, I mean, and the CTA is this is another thing you can do. If you don't want to do this, that's totally fine. And also, if you don't want to do CTA, adding text, you can also add more. So I'll show you here. You can add another one. You can add text to a different area. For example, here, see here that's got a subtitle. And notice we've got two different texts that you can play around with. So I think that's very cool. I'm going to delete this. And one of the final things I wanted to mention is that this button, the split, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to mess my video up right now. But if you want to later, for example, cut part of the video out, you can click on split and then click on that and then delete it and move it around. But again, I didn't want to make this video too long. So I'm going to delete this subtitle. And I wanted to show you one more time starting from here. So starting from the beginning, you see it's got great text. It's got white font. Yellow or orange might have been okay, but I think it looks good anyway based on, and the color you should use is based on the actual background color of the video. If I had just like a white background, using white text would be bad. Probably black text but again, like I mentioned, you just got to use your own critical thinking. But yellow or orange, I've used those in several videos. In this video, I chose white just because that's what I thought looked good, and it's got natural beauty. I didn't take away from natural beauty. And then often I'll use size 32 or 40, but in this video I chose 28 just because, again, I think bigger font might take away a little bit from the natural beauty. And then again, in this video, I had a call to action, or like a promotion basically for my video. I'll delete that. And maybe this isn't the best position to put it. Maybe I can move it around a little bit. I'm going to move it up just a little bit higher than before, just to make sure that, again, there's often there's text that either in TikTok or Instagram, and I think that's a little bit too close to the caption. But I think it's, I don't think there is such a thing as perfect. I think it all just depends,
In a park called Parque Bicentenario in Santiago, Chile.
So, but again, I think I'm quite happy with this because honestly, if I post this video, it probably will get at least 1,000 views amongst all the places I post to. And if 1,000 people see this, even if just 1%, that's potentially 10 sales, and that's pretty good. But yeah, so that's just for a short, and that was a short for 3 minutes. Okay, now I want to show you actually exporting the video. So export, I always use this one, the 1080p, but if you want to make export as a smaller, you can do that. 4K, it doesn't work because I didn't film the video in 4K. 1080p is probably what I filmed it in. So I'm going to export as high quality, and then you see here it's generating, and you can actually give it a name, but I'll just leave it as default. This is what it looks like. It might take a few minutes because there's a lot of text and so on, and I'll come back when it's done. And see, it says it's 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, so I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so it finally finished. My original video was about 320 megabytes, and this new one is 447.23 megabytes, almost 450. So it added more than 100 megabytes in size. So I want to show you what it looks like. You click on Save to your computer, and I'll show you what the file looks like. Okay, so this is the downloaded video, and note that by default it'll be called Untitled Video Made with Clipchamp, but you can rename that. Honestly, that's not a big deal. And again, this is just the video, so it's an MP4 file. I'm very happy with it. I think the quality is very, very good. I don't see hardly any degradation in quality. There might be some, but I think it's, negligible. And notice here, like for example here, I talked about it's 200 pesos. And I've got the swans there. And this was in a case where I thought I thought to remove the double like, but this was a case where I thought it was okay to keep it in there. So all of this, there's almost no definitive, like a lot of this is artwork, so I can't give a definitive answer on what is the best color, what is the best font size. It just depends on the situation. Now sure, you can chat with an expert artist or graphic designer, but a lot of this you'll just need to decide for yourself. And I wanted to show you the CTA. So I think, again, this is very cool because I mentioned here this was a pond in a park called Parque Bicentenario in Santiago, Chile. Or it was, oh, it got cut off? Okay, and just to make sure I didn't get cut off, you can go, and if you want to make edits after you watch it, go back to keep editing. And I wanted to make sure that this didn't get cut off. So I guess maybe some of it got cut off. I don't know. I'll have to come back here to zoom in here. Did some of it get cut off? I honestly don't know. Let's go back to this video. Did some of it get cut off? Parque Bicentenario in Santiago, Chile. So let's play this here. I want to play this whole message just to make sure it's good. So I'll put it up.
I think this looks very good. Okay, so this was a pond in a park called Parque Bicentenario in Santiago, Chile.
Okay, so actually there wasn't a mistake. I'm very happy. Very, very happy. So again, you can export like that. And if you find mistakes, I recommend you watch it at least one time just to make sure there's something that if you don't want to, if you want to edit it, you should edit it immediately because again, I don't think Clipchamp will save your video. So once you close the browser, it'll probably get deleted. And just to mention the book that I had the call to action to, if you liked this video, I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to support me, you can get my book. It's called Watson the Time Traveling Dog. This is the front cover. And I might have a different cover that you see. But this was the original I had. It might be a different cover. But it's a wonderful story in my opinion. If you liked this video, you can support me by getting a copy of this book. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was about Clipchamp and how you can make shorts with captions in it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked the video, you can please subscribe or follow this channel. And see you in the next one. Thank you.